enough good, presentable. Okay, let's talk about what we do in Upasana. I came to Auroville in '96 for a design project, and since then I'm here. Very first day I met Manoj. Auroville was created in 1968. It is a place for spiritual and material research. For us, it is a very, very promising place, and whatever Upasana is able to do, it is because of Auroville. And after 2 years working in Auroville, I started Upasana. Through fashion in Upasana, we try to reach out to the deeper personality of the being. It is not just connected to the skin, that how do you physically look, but how do you really feel. And that's very, very important to us. We call it draping the soul. What Upasana was trying to see through the fashion, can we beautify and can we contribute to the beauty of the soul, what a person possesses, and add a certain dimension to that and bring out the best out of a being, and it can be anybody, to transcend that and reach a step higher and deeper and start there. What I was actually interested, that I could see a glimpse that India has a great richness and great wisdom to be offered to the whole world, even through textile. For me, I was trying to plug to India the true India, and suddenly it came very strongly in Auroville while living with 35 nations as a global village. It came to me that this nation has some role to play. I also feel that everything what this country does has some deeper meaning behind all. That most of Indian textile were born in temple in a very sacred places. Look at Kalamkari, for that sake, from Andhra. This textile was initially to write story of gods on textile or on the cloth, and it slowly became available for everybody, and it started in the temple. When you look at block prints from Rajasthan, the kind of motifs they have, and if you look at ikat from Orissa, it has very direct influence of the famous temple of Lord Jagannath.
So what we do in Upasana is we keep the fabric according to the states of India, and what we try and do is we go to one state every year, do a research study, and then get that fabric into. So every year we add one state. India has 26 states, so one day we will have all the 26 states. That way we try to revive the traditional fabrics of India, which the market is not able to get because they are in small villages and those fabrics are dying, because there is no one to bring it to the market. So that way we at least help the small villages to bring the fabric to the market and tell India that this state makes this fabric, which otherwise would not be reachable to the common people.
I have learned now that what I would like to do in designing, to design a system system which allows people to be happy and creative, irrespective of what they are, irrespective of how good they are technically in certain things. And if they are not, if they are even illiterate, how can they be most expressive in their capacity what they hold? That's what creativity lies for me for this moment. What I meant to say is the creativity doesn't come inside a box. It comes outside, and it's like a fragrance, and it is everywhere, and it has to be like that. A fashion designer also has to be a beautiful human being, a conscious human being. Need not be a most creative fashion designer, and that's stop. There is a steel boundary around him. He doesn't know a thing about life. He doesn't want to know that he has a different dimension of life attaching to him, and he has to be open to that. For last 7 years, Upasana had done many workshops. Not only that, we received a lot of students from all over the world, Indian Design Institute, International Design Institute. One of my aim is primarily to let them know a different dimension of life, where the importance of their individual identity to the collective has a role, or they should be conscious of it. Other words, to making them sensitive that there is an industry, whatever industry and wherever in the industry they are, they have a very crucial role to play, and they should be aware of that, they should be conscious of that, and not only that, they should take responsibility. And third part of them, bringing them a higher dimension of life which Oro will stand for. I didn't like to waste anything. Whenever I was conscious, I couldn't bear it, that how could you just waste things like this? There is no waste in nature. Only human beings create waste. For me, they are to real investment in human capacity and human skill and quality, what I look through the student. That they might not contribute anything to Upasana, it's okay. They might not contribute right now anything to industry, it's okay. But one day the seed will not go waste. Something will happen. They would do something much nicer, much meaningful to the mankind, to the nation, to their state, wherever they are. And that's beautiful. And that's the investment I am putting right now. Of this project Tsunamika, it took us many weeks altogether with design team. We were sitting and thinking that what will be our help after such a disaster like tsunami? What role a designer has to play in a social or rather catastrophe like tsunami? And Tsunamika came as a response to that question. The team decided we will go and teach fishermen community ladies some craft which will help them to come out of trauma. Second aspect of Tsunamika was that she was a recycling project. In Tsunamika project, we took industrial waste, we went down to the village and started teaching craft which was based on waste. And Tsunamika was born out of that waste. Now today, 200 women in 6 villages of coastal part of Tamil Nadu have finished 1 million Tsunamika, which has gone to 60 nations across the world. And today Tsunamika has become a symbol of joy, hope and unconditional giving. She's also have become a symbol of gift economy. We decided she will be never traded. There will be no trading while giving Tsunamika. So $1 million has been given to 1 million people across the world. After Tsunamika, what happened in Upasana, that we very clearly saw the need of design intervention to make social change, or we called it design for social responsibility. And this kind of decisions are taken collectively in designers meeting. We ask each other, what is the future as a design team we are looking at? Are we going to be a clothing company, or we are going to be a real designer studio which moves as per the need of the day? And team decided we will move as per the need of the day. And Tsunami showed us that there was a great design intervention was possible, or designer could be a useful social instrument in making absolute different kind of change. I think I don't have to say much. Tsunamika is a living example of that, and we all feel so content, so happy, so meaningful, that we could never thought like that 2 years back. It was not the same. We feel like we have changed as a human being. We are not the same. After Tsunamika, Small Steps had been another big project for social responsibility sector. 5,600 tons of plastic gets dumped on Indian roads every day. This is just mind-boggling that we accept that. So now team is targeting to bring that as an awareness campaign, with providing a solution of having a portable bag. Anybody can carry it anywhere, especially in the society when everybody carries mobile everywhere. I think we can carry one more mobile.
Sari sa ni da pa da ni sa, sari sa ni da pa da ni sa, re sa ni da pa da ni sa ni da pa da ni sa, ni da pa da ni sa, da pa da ni sa, pa da ni sa, ma pa da ni sa.
Khadi was dream of our father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi. He thought that this trade will provide jobs to millions and millions of people in India, and it did. Whole process of Khadi has been very human oriented. There is no machine involved. So anybody in the village or any farmer can sit and start spinning thread by hand. Khadi is a textile which is hand spun, hand woven, and that makes it almost exceptional in the world. I don't think in today's world economy any country can afford to make Khadi. There's nothing special, but any country can make afford to make Khadi, I doubt. India as a nation can do it, and it's there's a great fortune that government have helped or provided subsidies for last 50 years to support Khadi, and Khadi exists in a great way in India today. In between we did one more project, was for Varanasi weaver. Varanasi is almost 2000 kilometer, little less, or 2000 kilometer from here. Supposedly one of the oldest living city of the world. Varanasi also has a name called Banaras. Many people know Varanasi as Banaras. It has 1,50,000 weavers community who makes very exquisite textile in silk and brocade. 2006 February, there was an international news that 50,000 weavers in Varanasi were on the street. They could not survive being a weavers. They could not survive in the global scenario where China has started making cheap Varanasi silk sari and has started selling in India. It was a very good example of how globalization can hit craft sector and what happens. Upasana was interested to do this project Varanasi weavers. We had our Danish company, a partner with whom we have done one more social responsibility project earlier. They asked us to take up this project and do a series of silk scarf which will be done in Varanasi but designed for Europe. We made 13,000 scarf with them. 800 people in Varanasi worked for this project, and end of the project when I met them, they were not the same people. The self-confidence has grown many times more, and they were telling us that now you give us anything, we will do it, you know. And we realized that they did not know international quality standards, and they didn't know very small thing. It can be of making color, dyeing a fabric in color fast dye, and I asked them why couldn't you do that? Just because next street was not selling that dye. And I was so astonished that solution can be so simple. When you really, or when I go to the village and start working with them, problems which sound so big has a very simple solution. I'm astonished with that. That they don't need big help. They need a right people in the right spot making a small right decisions. And how do we do that? Design has a much greater responsibility than just making a creative expression possible. And I really wish that one day if I can communicate that. Whenever I am talking about small steps and Tsunamika project and Varanasi project and Khadi and so on, end of the day what I wish that, did you understand? The design can go a little far, you know. And I want to tell people that through Tsunamika, did you see that industrial waste can become a huge emotional bonding between nations. Tsunamika project is a project of 60 countries across the world. No political army can achieve that. That you can hold hand together and cross national boundaries. And it was all happened because one bunch of designers sitting in the forest of Auroville thought like that. And if we can do this much, I think anybody can do anything far greater than this. Being on that, so many pockets of India or country like India who will need people, creative people, to be for the people at the grassroots level and extend their help. Upasana wishes to take that responsibility as a part of our career, and I'm very happy about it.
When I started my career and I came to Auroville, my first job was in Auroville. So I needed to still experience the world, see everything around, and I felt that if I stay here, I would not grow. I wanted to go out and explore myself still and not get stuck over here that time. But then after my 8 years of traveling, meeting people, being in the fashion industry, meeting all the elite crowd and being with all the fashionable people, I was not myself. I didn't feel very comfortable there. So it was a very artificial world outside which I thought. and I could feel that I was not happy. And the day I came here, I forgot all that. All that was taken away from my life, and a lot of my friends think I'm a fool. They're like, at this age, what are you doing? Stay here. And I'm like, you will never understand, you know. And all that I got after coming to Auroville, I never got in that 8 years that I was working like a mad person, earning so much and all that, nothing. But after I came here, everything that I wanted in life has actually come to me. So that is a very strange thing, you know, and it's very powerful.
How is it possible for you to love all day long?
I think it's God's gift. Because everyone who sees me, they say, how do you manage to laugh so much? And usually when people laugh so much, they are very thin. I said, whoa, I don't know.
En fait, chaque projet sur lequel je travaille ici, en fait, à chaque fois, ça a une profondeur. C'est pas juste de l'image, je sais que je travaille pour quelque chose qui a un sens, qui a un vrai sens. C'est super agréable, quoi. C'est une équipe assez jeune, ils sont la trentaine, et ben ouais, on parle le même langage, on a les mêmes problèmes. C'est de faire partie d'une équipe comme ça, c'est très enrichissant et très valorisant. Et moi, je trouve ça génial.
But I've never had a problem with money till now. So I believe that I don't think about money. It would come if I need. If I don't need, it doesn't come. That's what people be telling, and now I really realize, and I don't even get a fear or don't even think about it much. So I have no problem with it. And I like it that way, because if you have too much, how much of money you get, so much expense you have. So what you have is good enough for you. I think it's nice.
There's a lot of freedom actually in terms of what I like to do, what I want to do is what they would, you know, really encourage me in doing it. You know? And the freedom that I've got here is I've done museology, yeah, so I fit perfect in the archives that's coming up, you know, so where I'm cataloging, documenting all the, you know, swatches from all over India and archival material. I can do designing, and tomorrow if I want to get into hands-on job with the embroidery, I can do that also. And you know, if I want to learn tailoring or even cutting, I can do that. It's like a studio space for me. So for an artist, when a studio space is given, it's like loads of freedom.
I like Upasana because of this situation of this company. I like very calm place. Not like machinery sounds. Outside of factories, it's going very machinery speed. I hate the factories like that. Here it will be calm, very smooth. That way I'm liking this company. We have a little team but big strength. All the peoples are like very calm peoples, not like fighting mode.
In Upasana, our human resources are not very skilled. We have people working with us from the village, and the beautiful part is to discovering about life together with them, the sense of family, sense of being together, working together.
அது மாதிரி பார்க்கக்கூடாதான் சொன்ன நினைப்பான். நமக்கு எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் தானே இவ்வளோ இருக்கக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லிட்டு தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாம்ல. அதில் சோகமாகிறதுல ஒன்றும் இல்லை, ஈஸி தான்.
இது தைரியம் இல்லை, இது செல்ஃப் கான்ஃபிடென்ஸ் இல்லை, இதை ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணி சொல்ல நோ.
சரி, அவங்க வந்து மீட்டிங்கில் வந்து இப்போ வந்து சில டைமில் சவுண்டாக பேசுகிறாங்கன்னா அது வந்து நமக்கு தான் நல்லது. ஏன்னா வந்து அவங்க சவுண்டாக பேசுறதுனால தான் நம்ம அடுத்தது வந்து என்ன செய்யணுன்றது நல்லா புரிஞ்சு செய்கிறோம். அவங்க அப்படியே கண்டுக்காத மாதிரி விட்டுட்டாங்கனாக்கா நம்ம அந்த வேலையை கரெக்டாக பண்ண.
வீட்லேயும் ஓரளவுக்கு போயிட்டு கொடுக்குற வேலையெல்லாம் ஒழுங்காக செய்துட்டு ஒரு இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட்டாக வேலை செய்ய தோணுது. சோம்பேறினால கொஞ்சம் சுறுசுறுப்பாக கை வேலையெல்லாம் செய்திருக்க மாட்டோம். டைலரிங் கற்றுக்கணும் இருந்தாலும் பட் அதெல்லாம் தொடர்ச்சியா செய்யறதில்ல. இங்கே வந்து செய்யறதுனால
Here is freedom. She gives many freedoms. You know, the people told me, Bhuvana, please, can you teach me Tamil? Can you teach me English? Like that, you know. Okay, Bhuvana, you take care that people.
Very, very nice teacher.
Yeah?
Very nice.
She gave you good notes?
Yeah.
Upasana has invested a lot of time in what personal development is happening for our employees. We have meditation room, we have yoga classes, we have language classes, we have every little things, collective meeting. We try to take every step to make situation better, not for the sake of production, but something much higher.
My name is Manoj. I'm here in Oroville since 1995. I met Huma in 96 and since then we are together, and I am also closely involved in Upasana, but my main work is in the field of information technology in Oroville, where we have intranet and external sites. So the development of these sites is my focal point, along with involvement in Upasana. Describing Oroville is in fact more challenging than living here. It's so complex and many-sided. Its focal point, we can say, is the ideal of human unity. This unity that we seek cannot come about by an economic or political rearrangement or organizational model. We can realize it only by discovering that which is within us, that is our true authentic self. At the same time, it is one with everything else. So discovering that part which is sacred and also one with everything. that comes as the main focus. From there everything else proceeds. The human unity is a consequence of that, living from there and discovering that what we call the psychic being. So here is a laboratory of evolution, an accelerated field of evolution where the whole humanity is brought together to live in a small space. It is conceived as a city for 50,000 people, and this whole diversity here brings its own complexity, which challenges us to question who we are, what we are, and the growing realization of what we are through constant mirroring and through constant contrast, through constant mixing and melting, that pushes each one to go deep into oneself and to discover that what is it, the deepest, inmost need. Discovering this inmost truth that each one carry, the spark of the sacred, the divine aspect, touching that and bringing that out into our everyday life to transform it, become the central movement to harmonize oneself and to harmonize oneself with the larger collective and also with the whole nature. So the progressive harmony that unfolds as we go deeper and deeper into ourselves. So that is the central movement that each one here has to discover and follow, and it is through that we can build Auroville. So there is a transformation of consciousness of the individual and the collective. It is not only an individual work, it is also a collective transformation, a new form of society, a new prototype in the making, because we know that humanity is facing this tremendous crisis and we need models. This is one of the experiments. We have to transform the way we look at industry, business, whole production, distribution, the market, economy, because this is a tremendous engine that is right now is tremendously creative but destroying the planet at the same time in the process. Somewhere we have to work on a small model to see what can we do, how do we transform this, what we do with the creative potential of design, where this becomes the central reference when I'm designing something. To whom am I designing? How am I looking at the client, the so-called client? What is the relation? How to transform the whole action into an offering that enriches everyone who is involved. So it's an ongoing challenge within Upasana to work upon these things, and it involves deep work within ourselves, discovering ourselves and bringing out the best that is there and offer it. And the work has to be done, the transformation has to be made. We have to start somewhere. So these are initial steps. So when we look at each individual, we try to see various levels of their needs. So we can say the most outward one as the physical needs. All of us has physical needs that are to be met. Then within that comes the emotional needs, where the desires and feelings and finer aspects comes in. Then further deep, there is an evolving, growing mind. Where each individual has a different level of mental development, different level of emotional development, different level of physical development. And inmost comes the spiritual core. We can say the soul or the spiritual. This is the inmost core that is there in everyone, and other three are the outer layers. And we have to see all these levels in each and every individual, and it varies from time to time what is happening, and some may need more support in the emotional level, some may need support in the mental level, some may need more support in the physical level. And when these are clarified and supported, naturally this finds its expression outwardly. So this, we work on ourselves, and from there also into the larger team. So this model we follows in our way of looking at. In the case of a project like Tsunamika, there is the livelihood option, where it's dealing with their physical needs of earning income and having the material circumstances and the support needed for that. So the income generation for that meets their physical needs is one level of it. Then there is the traumatic emotions that were there that needs to be transformed. So that is the second level of it, helping these ladies to overcome their emotional trauma that they went through. Then training them in how to make Tsunamikas, how to keep their accounts, how to organize themselves, how to discipline themselves. All that comes into developing their mental faculties. And naturally, when these faculties are developed, some little ray from the inner spiritual being finds its expression outwardly. The question of freedom and discipline, which is almost like opposites, but we cannot really have true freedom without disciplining ourselves. So there is a strong element of discipline within the framework and work of our Upasana. and it is out of that discipline, starting with ourselves, the freedom finds its expression. Otherwise it breaks the whole thing. Discipline varies from people to people depending on the individual. What is the level of self-discipline an individual has, or the inner development an individual has? What is the potential? There are people who needs to be told, and not only to be told, we have to make sure also to put certain pressure that you come in time, and it has to be repeated. There are people to whom there is inner maturity and ability to take responsibility, and from there they enjoy their freedom of choosing even their time, what time they prefer to work, or what time they prefer to leave, or how much they would like to receive as a financial support. What capacity an individual has, what level of maturity an individual has. Accordingly, the freedom or discipline is given. This is an ongoing challenge that as the number of people are increasing, how to provide the discipline as well as freedom as per the individual needs, where it's not possible to pay attention to every individual and their specific needs. So that has to be distributed. More and more people who are more and more experienced look into their close teammates and work on that. Maybe something like that we will have to see. But to keep it fluid and open. The concept of gift economy is something that I had been exploring, and it's part of life here. It's a simple chart that shows various stages of growth we undergo, and in that process the nature of exchange itself undergoes change as we evolve. So you can see, first is the child state or stage, in which we receive in order to grow. Our primary mode of exchange is of receiving, and as we grow and become an adult, we learn to trade. We give something in exchange for what we are receiving. And as we grow further, we become parent, a position where we give unconditionally. So these three stages simultaneously exist in all of us, but in different stages of growth, one or other dominate. So growth is common for individuals as well as for organizations. For example, in order to start an organization, first of all, one has to receive. It is more of investing before it produces something, create something. So that is the childhood stage in which it receives in order to grow. And then as it grows, it starts generating its own wealth through trade. That is the adulthood. And as the adulthood reaches the maturity, comes naturally the next stage of giving something in return to the society. So we can see third stage evolving in the world, where we can see big corporations setting up various foundations to help the world in various projects.
funding across the world. You can see Microsoft and Bill Gates, the richest man who generated so much wealth through trading, later sets up foundations to donate money across the world to fund various projects. Similarly, Google, they too have set up to support various projects. That is the sense of being a parent, responsibility, taking up responsibility for various things that is beyond the traderhood. Though on one hand there is trading happening, and the other hand this part grows as you grow and become an adult. So here is again in the pie chart form, the childhood is dominated by receiving mode, whereas the trading and giver aspects are very minimum. But as you grow, the trader aspect start emerging and receiving aspect goes down. And further down in your growth, the giver aspect start growing, where all three gets balanced. One can go further in this parent aspect of giving, exploring the aspect of giving where there is discovery of the joy of giving and also the experience of abundant returns for what one is giving. When you give unconditionally, there is a discovery that there is an abundant returns to it, even when you are not asking for it. That is the turning point where the gift economy truly begins, where the abundance of return and the multitude of ways in which the returns come back to us, even when you are not expecting anything. That is where the gift economy becomes something mysterious and deeply satisfying. Economy that one is involved is no more based on calculations. Though you may have accounting which is necessary for knowing what is happening in the system, but the way things are set in motion comes from this deeper need to give and be in that flow, and for the very joy of giving. And the returns are more subtle but deeply satisfying. Something that enriches inwardly, builds you inwardly, nourishes you inwardly, and also the society in which you are involved. What is emerging as open source movement is a glimpse of what is coming. The future economy, where there is a deeper spiritual foundation to it, though it may not have been articulated or been made conscious, but there is a deeper aspiration within humanity that is manifesting in this form, which is forming now communities across the world, creating wealth and moving into a higher mode beyond competition, beyond struggle, and wealth that belongs to everyone, nourishing everyone, and recognizing the creativity of the individuals. The creative potential is being unleashed, and whoever has the capacity to give more are recognized, becoming leaders. And it's not those who amass or gather, accumulate more who are respected. It is those who give more who are respected. And it's a very different type of world that is emerging. So this movement, we can see Linux as the flag holder or synonym of this particular type of development, though it is now spreading into many other fields. But Linux became the leader in this movement. Apache Foundation and this new browser, Firefox, all that are being created now by completely different way of working together, being together. And this is something fundamentally different from the old way of doing things. We were exploring what essentially is Upasana and what we are doing, and trying to understand and trying to formulate. And this word, integral design, came out of that exploration. To me, it was very close to my heart, because it is very much part of the reason why we are here in Oroville. It goes back to the integral yoga of Sri Aurobindo and Mother. It's a yoga that integrates all aspects, a yoga that embraces everything, the meeting of the spirit and matter together, and everything that is connected with it, the whole evolution. It is from that context an application, a specialized application of integral yoga in the field of design, that is where the integral design is coming in. And integral design starts with integral designer. Everything starts with oneself. It is not product-centric. What product expresses is what we are inwardly, the state of our inner being. To design a campaign against smoking and still being a chain smoker implies an inner division, a division of things into your professional work and your private life, separated into compartments. This is not integral design. Integral design is closer to what Gandhi once said, that my life is my message. What we are, totally, how we live, whatever we do, every little thing ought to be an expression of your inmost authentic self. So we are expressing ourselves. Whatever we do carry the rhythms, the movements that we carry within ourselves. So our design cannot be separate from what we are. That is why it is so central to redesign oneself, integrate oneself, to find the inner harmony, inner delight, inner joy. And it is only from that foundation one can act, and that action has to reflect every little detail of your life, the totality of your being. So your whole being is there in what you do. It has to be there, free from conflicts. Multi-layered harmony in their physical function, in their emotional function, in their economic function, in their meaning it embodies. All that acquires a deeper significance, multi-layered integration. with society and its requirements, actual requirements of the world we live in. This comes as a natural consequence of being deeply anchored within oneself in one's own deeper truth, which is one with everything else. So the multi-layered harmony that emerges in what manifests as a product or an activity is a direct consequence and an indicator. So as your journey goes deeper and higher inwardly, so will be the quality of the outcome, the manifestation, the work. We cannot separate these two. So there is a constant inner exploration, inner discovery that enhances the outer action, and the insights that comes from the outer enhancing the inner, and eventually both merging and becoming one single movement of truth, goodness and beauty. For us it's a very new field. It is something that we are becoming conscious ourselves. So it's a very early phase. We are exploring. And I'm sure there will be many more people doing it, exploring it, maybe expressing it differently. What we are doing is also giving it a form, a conscious articulation of what it is, especially in the field of design.